Hello, and welcome back. Episode 139 of Learn Finnish with me. How are you guys doing? It was nice and cold outside today. And really windy though, so not really nice, but a nice change, I suppose. I went for a run today. It was the first time in a little while. All of last week I had a little pain in my shin, so I didn't want to aggravate it. And today felt good, so I got back out. But it was also the first day that I had to wear like whatever I don't know. Not pants, but what are they? Are they leggings? What are they called? Compression leggings, I don't know, whatever. But it was pretty cold. But yeah. But Lorelai, JF, Polyu, good to see you guys. What is this? Kella sent you something today, Lorelai, about the doctor from last week. Eli Kella valittaa, koska posti on hidas. I forget what valittaa means, but it's something because the post is slow. Hidas, right? I should probably look this up. Here, let's take a look. We've got Google Translate over here. Oh, Kella's complaining because the mail is slow. Valittaa. To complain. Well, hopefully that gets all sorted for you. At least it's like in, I guess in the mail. All right, let's learn some Finnish, or at least attempt to. We're gonna do the selko-uti set today because that's all I have energy for. I'm just hit with a wave of exhaustion because I don't know. I feel like I've had some deadlines and I've been working a lot. Oh, fighting about rehabilitation with Kella again, Lorelai. I'm sorry. Hang in there. I hope that it gets sorted and that you get the help that you need. It's a tough time where it feels like governments are cutting all of these important services, that support people in need. It's tough. But let's see. Okay, what do we got here? Not to move on to more depressing topics, but let's see what the news says. And hey, 27, welcome in. Why was Tyler's keyboard exhausted after work? Because it had 2 shifts. Well, it's not just my keyboard, right? That's a pretty standard keyboard. But I am tired, so it does apply to me very well. Thank you, 27. Appreciate it. I'm double shifting. So this news is droni häirintä, budjetti ja tietokoneet sää. So we've got drone häirintä. Does this mean like a disturbance? I think it means like, some kind of disturbance or disruption or like a bother. Then this is the budget. And this is knowledge machines, also known as computers. So I don't know, maybe the news isn't that depressing. This budget's probably going to be the most depressing. Häirintä, not häirintä. So I'm okay, I don't know. Let's Google or Wiktionary it. Well, we have to take droni off the front. Interference, harassment, jamming of signals. So I was kind of close with the meaning. I assume the words are maybe related. Maybe not, I don't know. Hi, Rita. Or did I just mispronounce it? Well, you wrote härintä. What is that? Is that a word? A bustle. From häriä. To bustle. To be busy? Or to busy? To be busy. Intransitive. Oh, I just said it wrong. Well, it's pretty standard for me. All right. Let's do it. Too loud.
Nyt uutisia helpolla suomen kielellä. Hyvää päivää. Ensin uutinen lentokenttien häirinnästä.
No subtitles.
Tanskan ja Norjan lentokenttiä
That's how they're gonna do us today.
häirittiin eilen illalla droneilla
It's good though.
eli lennokeilla. Lentokentät jouduttiin sulkemaan. Tanskassa lentokentälle tuli droneja useista suunnista, kertoo poliisi. Tanskan poliisi sanoo, että droneilla haluttiin näyttää voimaa. Niistä ei ollut vaaraa ihmisille, mutta useita lentoja peruttiin. Vielä ei tiedetä, kenen droonit olivat. Tanskan ja Norjan lentokenttiä häirittiin eilen illalla droneilla.
Okay, kind of understood that. Not just from the context clues.
Sitten uutinen valtion rahojen käytöstä, eli budjetista. Eduskunta on alkanut käsitellä ensi vuoden budjettiesitystä. Budjettiesityksen on tehnyt hallitus. Esityksessä hallitus kertoo, miten valtio käyttää rahaa ensi vuonna. Hallitus on päättänyt isoista miljardien eurojen säästöistä. Säästöjä tehdään siksi, että valtion ei tarvitse ottaa liikaa velkaa. Opposition mielestä hallitus säästää rahaa vääristä asioista. Eduskunta voi hyväksyä tai hylätä budjettiesityksen. Eduskunta keskustelee esityksestä perjantaihin saakka. Lopuksi uutinen tietokoneista. Maailmassa on satoja miljoonia tietokoneita, joita ei voi pian käyttää. Tietokoneita ei voi enää käyttää, koska niihin ei saa uutta Windows 11 käyttöjärjestelmää. Windows on järjestelmä, jolla tietokoneen erilaisia ohjelmia voi käyttää. Tietokoneet toimivat vielä Windows 10 käyttöjärjestelmällä. Se jää kuitenkin vanhaksi 14. lokakuuta. Sen jälkeen Windows 10 ei ole enää turvallinen käyttää. Windowsin tehnyt Microsoft-yhtiö sanoo, että uudessa Windows 11 ihmisten tiedot ovat paremmin turvassa. Siksi käyttöjärjestelmä halutaan vaihtaa. Maailmassa on satoja miljoonia tietokoneita, joita ei voi pian käyttää. Vielä sääennuste.
I feel like I kind of got it, but there were a lot of words that I didn't get. There was a lot. Are you getting a new used laptop paid for by Tukilinja? I hope the application goes through for you, Lorelai. All right, let's go through. I feel like this is the one I did not understand the most about the budget. I remember something about maybe €1 billion. And then there was something also about on Friday. Something was maybe happening on Friday. And then this, obviously, it had to do with like computers and Windows, right? And I think there was something about the reason that Windows needs to be updated is due to security. But I wasn't really clear if like what the consequences were if you didn't update. I couldn't quite catch what they were saying. So let's start with the most boring one about the budget. Now, käsitellä. This means to handle, right? The budget is being handled in Parliament. It's being discussed in Parliament. I just want to see if handled is also a valid translation. You guys can tell me in chat as well. Käsitellä. To handle. It's being dealt with. It's easy to remember handle because it's literally hand, käsi. But yeah. Oh yeah, Windows 10 isn't getting updated anymore. Or something like that. I don't have any Windows machines. Thank God. But yeah, DV, hey, welcome in. Good to see you. And handle totally is valid. All right, good. Sitten uutinen valtion rahojen käytöstä eli budjetista. It's like next the news about the state, like the state's funds usage, the usage of state fund. What is the word for state funds? It's kind of like taxes, but not exact. I don't know. Or the budget, the state's budget. How does Google translate this? Then news about the use of state money, i.e. the budget. Eduskunta on alkanut käsitellä ensi vuoden budjettiesitystä. The parliament has begun dealing or handling next year's budget plan. I don't know if plan is the right word, but something about, obviously, next year's budget is being planned. The proposal, that's the word, proposal. Close to a plan. Budjettiesityksen on tehnyt hallitus. the budget. Why is this genitive? Is it because the subject is government? The government has made a budget proposal. Or, right? The budget proposal has been made by the government. Yeah, the budget proposal has been made by the government. Even though, like, Google translated it that way, but literally it's not passive, right? This is just the past participle. So it's the government has made a budget, the budget proposal. If I remember correctly, the explanation I've been told, when you put the words in this order, which are the opposite order of how we would normally do it in English, right? You're kind of emphasizing this first word as a definite object. Like in English, we would say the budget proposal, not just a budget proposal. Because you don't have articles in Finnish to distinguish. But if you use word order, you can sort of distinguish it more. Is that the case? JF, you switched to Linux last spring. I've never used a Linux, but I know a lot of people are switching. DV, the word order is just reversed. Yeah. So I was right that it is, yeah, this is the subject. It's just reversed. But the sense that this is more of a discrete object or noun, I don't know if I'm correct on that. You guys let me know. Maybe it has no effect. Right? If I was to say, hallitus on tehnyt budjettiesityksen, would that have a slightly different meaning to it? Or are you able to speak like Yoda whenever you want? I mean, is that a thing in Finnish? Like if you always spoke this way, like if you made every sentence like this, where you put the object before the subject, it was like object, verb, subject, would that sound weird? Or would you just be like, oh yeah, no, that's totally normal, perfectly valid way to speak? That would just be a neutral statement. In this order, the pre-mentioned proposal is emphasized. Maybe to avoid esityksen. Why would you avoid esityksen? Oh, because also you're right. The ending can also affect whether it is discrete or not, right? Where like you could, if you can use the partitive in the object sometimes. If it's not very, if it's, yeah, not a discrete quantity, but if it's like a discrete thing, then you use genitive. I remember that as well. So it's like we've got... Yeah. In a sense, it's similar to the English definitive article. Okay, DV. So you kind of confirm that, yeah. The hallitus on tehnyt budjettis, or budjettiesityksen. I'm struggling with that compound word. It's so weird to pronounce. It's about what hallitus did rather than who did the budget proposal. Okay. Yeah, in this case, it's more about the emphasis. And if you said it with hallitus at the beginning, it would imply that the proposal is not ready. That's very confusing. It's only confusing because in English is, if I say the budget has, or the government has made a budget proposal, that means it's done. Right? But if I say the government is making a proposal, then it's not done. But in Finnish, you can use the past participle has made to imply that maybe it's still ongoing. Oh, sorry, the partitive. Okay, thank you. I missed that. Esitystä versus esityksen. Finnish dyslexia strikes again. DV is like, no. You have to understand, I'm really good at learning the wrong things. That's another one of my skill sets. I'm a great learner, just not a very discerning one. I've chosen, what is it, my sources, or I don't know. I don't have a good teacher. Or I guess this is the result of teaching yourself, right? But yeah, okay, so it's the word order in this case isn't the deal. But if we changed it to partitive, then it would imply that the government completed part of the budget proposal, but not all of it. That makes sense. As long as I can find a way to say it in English, I have a chance of understanding it. But I feel like there are sometimes Finnish sentences that there's just only the aliens from the movie Arrival could possibly interpret and understand. What do we got here? Esityksessä hallitus kertoo, miten valtio käyttää rahaa ensi vuonna. So in the proposal, the government says, how the state is using money next year. It's kind of a clunky English sentence, but in the proposal, the government explains how the state will spend money next year. Hallitus on päätynyt isoista miljardien eurojen säästöistä. The government has päätänyt. Does that mean decided? I think it means decided. They've decided sorry, I was thinking about this comma for a second. Well, iso means big. Isoista means big things, of or relating to big things. A big something, but a big somethings plural. But a billion euros, or is this also billions of euros in savings? I kind of get the meaning, but I feel like I'm missing some little trick of logic in here. Billions, plural, in fact. Okay. And this is modifying this, Lorelei says, I think. Isoista säästöistä. So it's sort of like the government has decided on large savings of billions of euros. That's probably my best translation. The government has decided on major savings of billions of euros. Boom. Säästöjä tehdään siksi, että valtion ei tarvitse ottaa liikaa velkaa. The savings are being done siksi, että. I always think of siksi as That's why. But this might also have another meaning I forgot. But something, the state does not need to take more, or lika, yeah. Velka. I don't know what velka is, but maybe it's related to debt. It's debt, right? I mean, in this context, I think that's what it's saying. It's like the savings are being done in order for the state to not need to take more debt. The savings are being made so the state does not have to take on too much debt. Not more, but too much. I should have known that. We've seen Lika before. But it's been a little while. Your translation on the savings was more accurate. Okay, thank you for that, DV. More accurate than Google. And Lorelai, so that, yeah. Like it's like sometimes I learn a word, I'm like, that means that's why. But then why would you say that's why that? What the F? No, it just means so that. You always think of Ismo Leikola when someone mentions the English word debt. Oh, he had a skit. This is Ismo the comedian, right? I don't know his last name, but I think I remember he had a whole skit about debt and how it has a silent B in it. But sleep deprivation is univelka. Sleep debt. I think we actually use sleep debt now in English as well. But not to the actual act of sleep deprivation, but the accumulation of sleep deprivation, like it's a savings. Well, the opposite of a savings, right? A loan that keeps growing and bearing interest. Yeah, he has a whole skit on the silent letters in English. Yeah, he has some really funny observations. Where were we? Opposition mielestä hallitus säästää rahaa vääristä asioista. In the view or opinion of the opposition, the government is saving money on the wrong things. I'm pretty confident about that translation. The opposition believes that the government is saving money on the wrong things. I did a more literal translation, which works. Eduskunta voi hyväksyä tai hylätä budjettiesityksen. Parliament can approve or deny the budget proposal. Are you serious right now? This is the word? Because I always see it as hylkä. Does the K disappear? Right? To reject. Oh, I want to see the inflection of it. Yeah. You guys, you throw a K back in. Reverse gradation. I guess it depends on where you start from. But if you're in the perfect tense, it's olen hylännyt. Hylkäsin. Olin hylännyt. Hylkäisin. Ei hylätä. Hylätään. At least in English, we still put our letters in the words, even if they're silent. You guys would benefit if you put the K back in here, okay? Give me... I would not pronounce the word correctly, but at least I would have a chance of recognizing words. I mean, I guess I did technically recognize the word, especially in the context. But I did not realize the K is not in the infinitive. Eduskunta keskustelee esityksestä perjantaihin saakka. Parliament is discussing, right? The proposal. I don't know what saakka means, but something maybe until Friday? Parliament will discuss the proposal until Friday. I have never seen this postposition. I assume that's what this is. Or maybe it's just a, I don't know, a regular word. In Finnish, to arrive. Yeah, postposition with illative or allative. Yeah, up to or until. Maybe I have seen it. I just don't recognize it. And this is the illative, right? Perjantaihin. Yeah, Ismo also talks about silent numbers. I don't know about that skit, but that sounds pretty hilarious. Our ancestors had a K in there. We have to pay our respects to them, DV. Yep. Gotta pay the respects. That's why we keep all our old spellings in English. Hulkata. All right. Let's do this next one. I feel like this was difficult for me. Like, I understood the main idea, but there were so many words I didn't quite catch. So let's do this. Miljoonia tietokoneita ei voi pian käyttää. So millions of computers will soon not be able to work. How do I say this in English? Here, literally, they can not soon to use. There you go. But it's not actually the computer. Wait. Now, here's a good question. Who is the subject of this sentence? Is it just like people? Or like one cannot not use millions of computers soon. Soon it will not be possible to use millions of computers. Soon can't be used millions of computers. It's in the passive, the like fake passive. Yeah, actually Google did a much better job. Millions of computers will soon be unusable. Why does it... This is also my problem with Finnish. That I didn't realize when I was learning French, foolishly thinking I was learning a foreign language, just how foreign grammar and words can be. Because in French, it would probably be like the sentence in French for this. I mean, I don't know how to say it in French. I forgot. But like, it would be very similar. It would be almost identical to this, but just like replace the English words with the French words and then you're done. But Finnish is so like, well, first of all, don't start the sentence with the subject because that would be easy. That would be too easy. We gotta start with the object, and then we're gonna just use a sort of, you know, almost like there is kind of expression, right? Like one cannot use soon millions of computers. Which there's no easy way to translate that. I don't know if there is a literal way of translating this that sounds natural. But you kind of have to change the grammar so that then it, I mean, yeah, it's just like, and it's not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like, you really have to like rewrite the sentence completely. Yeah. Yeah, the Finnish passive can't be equated with the English one. Yeah, millions of computers cannot soon be used. Yeah, that's another good way. For some reason, I just don't want to translate this as used. I don't want to put the computers in the subject. But, yeah. Silent numbers in a bank account and in a bill. My problem with French? Finnish. It's, yeah, look. Lopuksi uutinen tietokoneista. Lastly, the news about computers. Maailmassa on satoja miljoonia tietokoneita, joita ei voi pian käyttää. Around the world. Is that what maailmassa means? Like, in the world? That doesn't really sound right, though. Around the world, there are hundreds of millions of computers which soon cannot be used. There are hundreds of millions of computers in the world. I guess in the world does work in that sense. That will soon become unusable. Yeah, why does it actually? It's funny that now I think about this. It would be really weird in English to start a sentence by saying, in the world, there are. Maybe it's not that weird. Maybe my brain is just so fried. I can't even think in English. Tietokoneita ei voi enää käyttää, koska niihin ei saa uutta Windows 9. Oh. Wait, no, hold on, wait. 11. But was it 11 or something like that? Viiva käyttöjärjestelmää. Yeah, not 19. Look, Lorelai. I knew I was saying something wrong, okay? 11. Ah, 11. What is this? Okay, something about computers soon computers cannot be used because to them there is not gotten a new Windows 11 is this the operating system? Is that what this refers to? Järjestelmä. Why do I feel like that's something to do with organization, right? Windows on järjestelmä. Windows is the administrator, the organizer. The operator the operating system, jolla tietokoneen erilaisia ohjelmia voi käyttää. In which hold on a second. Tietokoneen eri different programs can be used. Like in which different programs can be used on the computer or like to the computer. I'm so confused with the directions of all these nouns. Like, what are they pointing at? I think that's one of those things, like as a kid, I remember in English, we learned about diagramming sentences and like identifying the, you know, the subject, the verb, the object, prepositions, prepositional phrases, the object of the preposition. And it helped to like draw arrows. And of course, if you're a native speaker, you already understand, but like you actually can see the connections when you draw the arrows. And I'm trying to do that here, but it's so difficult to draw the arrows with what the nouns are doing. So let's see what Google Translate says. They cannot be upgraded to the new Windows 11 operating system. I don't see the word upgraded in here. I only see saw, which is like saada, to get. They cannot get the new Windows 11 operating system. Windows is a system that allows you to use various programs on your computer. I mean, the Google Translate sounds nice, but it's confusing me because I don't see the word for your in here. You know? Like, that's why I switched back to Finnish, because I'm like, it's not here on tietokoneen, right? I mean, it's understood that if this were your computer and you were in this situation, then it would apply to you. But like the actual grammar here is just saying that Windows is a system that allows or that can use different computer or different programs on your computer or on the computer. It's like can use them to the computer. That's but I mean, maybe there's obviously other words you can use to translate käyttää besides use, because I feel like it's running, I know it's running thin. Yeah. You would just say ei saa uutta Windows 11 käyttöjärjestelmää. So you wouldn't say niihin? I don't know if I understand, DV. You think the Windows 11 is a proper noun? And it's an extremely clunky sentence? Like, do you mean my English translation? Or you mean the Finnish, probably? It's like trying to dumb things down so much. And the last sentence of the paragraph. Oh, this one. Yeah. You can't put it in the computer. And yes, can't get. Brain is melted. Just a computer, not necessarily yours. Thanks, Lorelai. Now this is reminding me of Zoolander. The files are in the computer. They're in the computer. And they start ripping the computer apart to get to the files. Word for word-ish, DV. Computers cannot anymore be used because in them cannot be gotten new Windows 11 OS operating system. Windows is a system by which YOLA, okay, that's actually, yeah, by which computers, different programs can be used. By which computers, different programs can be used. That's really good. Thank you for that, DV. I appreciate the clunky literal translations because it does help me. Because Google Translate gaslights me a little bit. They're like, oh, it's as simple as that. But it's like a bunch of these words aren't even in the actual text. But, whatever. It's Google Translate's trying. It's funny now Google's doing the opposite problem. Like, whereas I feel like Google was too literal for so long, and it was so bad at translating, especially like Finnish. But now I guess with AI, they're able to sort of smooth out a lot of those wrinkles that used to happen. Of course, they still must happen. Yeah, Google translations are semantic, and they try to undo some of the clumsiness of the Selko Suomi. So the funny thing is that even for you guys, this Selko version of Finnish is kind of clumsy. And DV, oh, you're saying that because this is a proper noun, you wouldn't decline the 11 there at all. Is that what she said here? Because I thought I heard her say 11 with some declension applied to it. Yeah. Tietokoneet toimivat vielä Windows 10 käyttöjärjestelmällä. Järjestelmällä. There we go. That's a little better. But okay. Computer to, hold on. I'm having like, what is it? A brain fart. Computers, something about computers. Either computers or two computers works still Windows 10 operating system. But why the al at the end? I feel like this is this not the illative, the mihin form? Is it? Or the plural? Why do I think this is plural mihin? But I'm like, I feel like I'm having a hallucination. But you had a watermelon bit from Shape of You video as your ringtone? What? Oh, the Google Translate sings videos are funny. Okay, that's what that's referring to. Lorelei 27. Does Google Translate still translate Kari Hakamies into Kari carbon monoxide man? That's pretty funny. I'm a carbon monoxide man. What can I say? What were we doing here? The computers still run Windows 10. So is this just a simple plural, like nominative plural? Let me look it up in the conjugation Bible. Nominative plural. Why was that so weird? I just had a brain fart. That's why I also paused, because I was like, something feels wrong. The illative would be theotokone sein or theotokone sin. Maybe that's also why, because I'm used to seeing the double E or whatever. Man. And I was even thinking, as I said, mihin, I was like, doesn't mihin usually end with an N? But I was like, Finnish does so many weird things that I have to trust my gut, because I don't have any memory. I have no memory of this place. Where is that from? That's a reference to some movie. Is that Gandalf? When they're in the Mines of Moria, right? By the way, did you guys watch Lord of the Rings on Hobbit Day? Did you? I did not, but I did watch it on Sunday. I watched the first movie on Sunday. I was busy on Saturday, so I couldn't watch any Lord of the Rings. But yeah, it was nice to revisit the first movie. That's my favorite movie of all time. It has to be. The Fellowship of the Ring. No movie will ever top it. Like, though I enjoy The Two Towers and Return of the King, Fellowship is the best. And yes, we are on a Tolkien rant, appropriately, okay? It's on cue. Okay, well, let's finish the article, and then we'll talk about Tolkien for the last few minutes of stream. Oh yeah, Lorelai, the Castagna Perakipia, or whatever, was translated by Google as anal pain reliever. What? Nothing can be said anymore, told a distant burp. Sano kauko röykä. What? But anyways, where were we? We were something, I think here, like se jää kuitenkin vanhaksi 14 lokakuuta. But this has to be translated into like neljän toinen, maybe, I don't know. But yeah. It continues? Is that what yeah means here? That doesn't mean ice cream, unfortunately. It will continue, however, does this mean like for the older computers? Until the 14th of October. You saw a short animation recapping Fellowship this weekend, though. Oh, and you just say neljätoista in this case. Yeah, vanhaksi is a really weird phrase. It sounds properly old. Oh, it will become old, or it will become outdated. Right? It will become obsolete. Vanhaksi, of the old order. It will become oldly. Sen jälkeen Windows 10 ei ole enää turvallinen käyttää. After that, Windows 10 will no longer be safe to use. Got it. Got it. on the dot. Windowsin tehnyt Microsoft-yhtiö sanoo, että uudessa Windows 11 ihmisten tiedot ovat paremmin turvassa. The Microsoft company says, like, is it sort of like Windows? The Microsoft company says that that in the new Windows 11, people's information will be better protected. Is it sort of like saying Windows is made by Microsoft, which it says that it's kind of a Windows made by Microsoft. No, there's no way to get this the way I'm trying to in English. Let's see what Google does. Yeah, Microsoft, the company that makes Windows, says that people's data is more secure in the new Windows 11. Yhdessätoista. Thank you, DV. But Lorelai, you said something else there. 14. Was that up here? The 14 lokakuuta. Oh yeah, I misread what you said earlier, Lorelai. ¿Dónde está? Siksi käyttöjärjestelmä halutaan vaihtaa. That's why the operating system is wanted to update, or I feel like I've seen vaihtaa before it. But yeah, to update your operating system, something like that. That's why they want to change the operating system. To change. Maailmassa on satoja miljoonia tietokoneita, joita ei voi pian käyttää. Yeah, we already did this sentence. In the world, there are hundreds of millions of computers which can soon not be used. I guess will soon no longer be used. I have no idea. But yeah, cannot be used soon. We got it. There are hundreds of millions of computers in the world that will soon become unusable. Clever Google giving me a run for my money. But yeah, there we go. I think that's enough for today. We don't need to do the first article. We did 2 really dry articles. But it's fine. It's fine. We made some progress. When we don't fancy a subclause. But yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up stream here. I was gonna mention something about Lord of the Rings, about how Fellowship of the Ring is the best because it was the first. It's a combination of the timing and the story. I think of all 3 films, Fellowship is the one that really takes you on the journey. Like, you start in the Shire and you pass through Moria with the Balrog, you know, and then you have the breaking of the Fellowship. It's just like it's amazing. Every moment of that movie is perfect. And the music, and obviously the timing when this movie came out, it just blew everyone's minds. It was so good. Yeah, it was so fun. Of course, you can criticize certain decisions that, oh, I wish they had done this or that differently. But overall, the tone and the feel, it was very well done. And then the second movie, Two Towers, was like a lot of action and development. It was still really good. But you don't really start in the Shire and like go on the adventure. You're just in the middle of the adventure and stuff is still happening. And it's amazing, obviously, because there's Helm's Deep, and then you've got the Ents. And when the Ents go ape shit on Isengard, that's so satisfying. The way they filmed that, the way they brought that to life was just so incredible. And then, of course, the Return of the King is the resolution. But, you know, it does have a very long ending. It felt like there were like 3 different points where you thought the movie was going to end, but then it fades to black and then fades to another scene. And it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful end. And it taps into something really deep that isn't present in the first 2 films. And obviously, technically, it's the most accomplished of all 3 in terms of how they made the movie and the special effects. And yeah. It was, yeah. But I mean, Fellowship just felt, it had that kind of upstart charm to it. It had some charisma to it. Like the Fellowship was still kind of proving itself, and it had that energy, and I loved it. And of course, as a kid, when I saw Fellowship, it came out in the theaters. I saw it 4 times. I just kept going back. So yeah, I don't know. That's my take on Hobbit Day, and why I watch Fellowship of the Ring. It always puts me in a good place. But yeah. The 2000s trilogy is for movie marathons. Lots of good movies from that time. But yeah. You were more interested in Harry Potter due to being the prime age for that. Yeah. I'm going to try and get back into Harry Potter. You know, I've only read the first 4 books. I wouldn't say I was ever like a big fan, but I did read and enjoy at least those books. So I'm gonna listen to them on audiobook. That's my plan for the end of this year. I'm gonna listen to The Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna start listening to it because now I'm getting back into running more regularly, and I like to, you know, listen to audiobooks on my run. So I'm gonna download the audiobook again to my phone so I can listen to it. And then after that, I'll either go to Harry Potter, or maybe before starting Harry Potter, I might listen to The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. Because I do have an audiobook of that saved to my computer from like 15 years ago. So I still have it. So I might revisit that before jumping into Harry Potter. Because I feel like I'd like to end the year with Harry Potter on Christmas. I feel like Harry Potter is a very Christmassy thing. Like every school year, there's like Christmas stuff that's happening in the books, if I remember. So it kind of fits that time of year. So maybe I'll watch the movies as well around that time, but I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. I'll be back. Well, every Tuesday we do our Learn Finnish with Me live stream. If you're enjoying the streams, please consider becoming a channel member. You get a special little badge, and you can use an emoji with my face on it. And if more people join, I'll maybe make more emojis for you guys. That would be pretty fun. A good way to support me doing this. But anyways, it's good to have you guys here and just helping me with Finnish. That's actually the biggest help. Like, I get free tutoring from you all, so thank you for that, and for, I guess, encouraging me. Yeah. And I also do the gaming streams. So if you're interested, I love plugging my Stardew Valley Granny Challenge. You know, we're playing Stardew Valley, role playing as a grandma with special, what is it? Challenge requirements or restrictions on how we play the game. Stardew Valley is one of my all-time favorite games. So this has been a lot of fun. So if you want to do that, I do that on Thursdays, but also on other days when I have time and it seems right. So yeah. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your Tuesday and hope to see you in the next live stream. Goodbye.